U.S. efforts against al-Qaeda in the Middle East have been effective enough that the terror group has looked elsewhere for footholds. Tonight, national correspondent Catherine Herridge tells us about an al-Qaeda connection to a terror group in Africa, which could become a threat to the U.S. Some of the images in this report may be disturbing.
This suicide bombing in Somalia last October with links to an American suggests that lawlessness and instability have once again made East Africa fertile ground for terrorists.
Is it a training ground?
It unarguably is a training ground. We see that for a lot of, I'll use the phrase, like-minded people to prepare them for the kind of combat that al-Qaeda and its affiliates want to impose on us.
I'm calling on all Muslims.
Shabaab al-Mujahideen, which translates as the Mujahideen Youth Movement, is one of the significant players. In this testimonial, a man with an American accent claims to be among their Somali fighters.
And we have a global mission. That's why America puts us in number 41 in the terrorist list.
The group is prolific, posting propaganda videos like this one of their training camps in Somalia. Fox News has confirmed that by November last year, about 20 young men of Somali descent had vanished from the Minneapolis area. The working theory is that the men may have joined al-shabaab. This is one of the few images of casualties from a suicide bombing in Somalia last fall, a bombing with ties to a Minneapolis man. Shirwa Ahmed's body was flown to the Twin Cities for burial after he was identified as one of 5 suicide bombers, part of a coordinated attack that killed at least 21 people.
It's clear to us that the events of the last 2-3 years along the Horn of Africa, the Ethiopian move into Somalia a year or two ago, has catalyzed Somali views, and it has affected the Somali expatriate community around the world.
And for the first time last week, the FBI and Homeland Security warned that al-Shabaab might attempt an attack on the U.S. to disrupt the inauguration. The intelligence from an informant suggested some persons of interest had recently returned to the U.S. Ultimately, the intelligence didn't wash, but federal authorities are still aggressively pursuing all leads.
We have big concerns. And we share those concerns with the Somali American community in Minneapolis or anywhere else.
The inaugural threat is not an isolated incident. Federal law enforcement continues to document cases in other states like Ohio, Massachusetts, and Washington of Americans supporting the jihad in East Africa. In Washington, Catherine Herridge, Fox News.